The first question was, why and how did you start the mentor program?
Well, I was directed by a friend of mine who was a doctor, helped me out with some cancer issues I had way back 12 years ago. He's a chiropractor, and one of his patients was the principal at a Harns Marsh Elementary, and she told him that she needed some help, and I went out there, and she shut the doors, turned off the phone. I knew she meant business, and told me about the issues that they have at Harns Marsh Elementary and asked how we might be able to help. And they were varied um, issues that they have out there. It's a Title I school, which means a high poverty level. And so we started out just by with small fundraisers, trying to help them with some money, and also people went out there and read with the kids and that type of thing.
Okay.
In the midst of that, I got to know the assistant principal very well, Richard Purdue, and he said, we have a real strong need for these fifth grade boys, really need some help. A lot of them are single parent families. And so between Richard and I, we started the first boys uh, group 10 years now, 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's a great track record. And can we talk a little bit about why you chose to work with fifth grade boys?
The big thing we found out about fifth grade boys is this is kind of their make or break year. They go into middle school next year, and there's also a greater influence of on these kids of gangs when they go into the sixth grade, and just a little more misdirection. So I remember when I was a kid, seventh grade was the make or break kind of year where you moved on one way or the other. Now it's fifth grade, and it's a huge difference, of course, with what these kids learn nowadays with the availability of the internet, et cetera, that the fifth grade is the time that we can really help them, or they'll slide the other way.
All right. And then you said the new superintendent is really keen on the fifth grade as a turning point as well.
Yes, all the I've met a lot of the educators over the last 3, 4 years, all the different superintendents and principals that they at these other schools, and everybody's in full agreement. This fifth grade is especially for boys, but girls also, is a really is the important year for them as far as their personality and that type of thing. Now, testing, believe it or not, third grade is make or break testing wise, but
Interesting. Okay.
the physically wise and metamorphically wise, the way they change their life, it's fifth grade.
Can you share some of your biggest success stories from the hundreds of students and boys that you've helped already?
Well, we've got a couple of kids that have gone on to get scholarships at a couple at USF in Tampa, and then there's one boy that here at the local school. It's kind of tough because of the HIPAA laws, but what we're finding out at our particular school, the middle school is behind, right behind our elementary. So there's talk between our teachers and their teachers, and their teachers know every year who the Lexington boys are by the way that they carry themselves, and also the way that they talk, because they've learned to speak in public and have some and strong confidence in themselves.
Wow, that's great. All right. I know that besides the students in the fifth grade, you've done some other really great work at the schools, helping the teachers and the students in other grades, and even the bus drivers. Can you tell us how you've been able to expand and help those people as well?
Yeah, we have a fund that we keep at the school. We raise about $30,000 a year at our club, Lexington. And between myself and a couple of the administrators at the school, we divvy out those funds in uh, various different forms. For example, today I had them call me that one of our teachers is having some medical issues, and she needs to take some time off, and she doesn't have that much time on her allotted um, um, vacation time, so we're going to be getting her some money. We have a food bank we set up at the school. We do lunches for the teachers. We do lunches for the grandparents of the kids. We bought new playground equipment. We're getting shade for those new playground equipment.
That's
So
amazing.
the various things that come up every day that they have issues for, and like for example, like you mentioned, the bus drivers, we try to get them a turkey at Thanksgiving and make sure that they kind of get our kids home a little on time, at a little maybe ahead of the other kids.
Right. And this school is not in your backyard. It's up in Lehigh Acres, right?
Yes, Lehigh, for us, it's in season. It's a good 45, 50-minute drive.
Oh,
So
it's a real
it's
commitment.
yeah, and it's very interesting because on the way out, we usually talk about rumors at Lexington and what's going on and who's doing this. And on the way home, we always talk about the boys and what we've learned that day and what amazing things that has happened in that hour and a half that we got to spend with them.
Great. Well, my last question is, Heritage Palms was sort of your first expansion team, but I understand you've got some other clubs that are interested now. So what's going on? What are your hopes for the future?
Well, my hope is that, especially like you guys have, is to find groups that just want to spend some time with boys. I mean, we have a formula that we have. You guys kind of tweaked it to what you had, what wanted to do. But the key thing is that the spending time with these boys, that most of them don't have fathers or have a father influence, they kind of get lost in the shuffle a little bit. And the way that Lee County is set up, there's all these private communities like ours, and right outside their doors, basically, are middle schools and elementary schools. So my goal is to get to these people in the communities, like we were lucky enough to do with you guys. Tell them, hey, you want to spend some time? These kids need a little help, and get them to do it right at their local school, where they drive by it every day and see it every day, and get even a greater sense of pride than we get at out at Harns Marsh with the Lexington community.
All right. This has been great, having you available to speak directly from your experience and from your heart. It's really wonderful. So thank you again for your time, and I'll stop the video here.